What's this purpose of life?
That's such a critical thing because literally it's like your why statement. And when it, like, for example, with my A races, like I actually write out a why statement, which is unique. I don't know a lot of people who do that. And I don't do that with all my races. Only like 4 races, maybe a year. And it's like finding that why is so critical. And it's what I'm trying to do with my students as well. Because it's like right now, it's exciting because I have juniors and I have a senior and 1 sophomore. But it's like they're at this exciting crossroads where there's so many different directions they can take life. And it's like finding their why or purpose is like the number one thing that can really like ignite your fire. You know, it's so critical. For me personally, I've got lots of whys. So I mean, I get, you know, I do as a teacher, like we do kind of have like a little bit of an altruistic bend where we have an interest in like, you know, helping others. But I also like being a lifelong learner. But it's like, I love that. Like this idea that it's like life is an adventure, and it's exciting because it's dynamic and it's changing, and it's like, it has it can have its extremely, you know, its dark places as well. But, you know, the excitement is in the adventure of like the unknown too, you know, like where we're going with it.
So what's the purpose of this? Why is that so important to establish that? So on your A races.
Yeah. So that's what keeps me motivated in the game. So like, for example, when I get to that place where most people would quit, what keeps me driven is that why. What is it that's propelling me? Why must I not quit? Why must I continue? And if I don't write that down, I might let it go. And so I literally like to write it down.
It's for the tough times.
For the tough times.
That's what we found. That's what I found is, you know, I'm not the type of friend that is going to be around when you're having a party. Just doesn't mean that much to me. I just pride myself on trying to be that guy who, when the chips are down, that's when I show up. Like on those bad days, on those days when it's really tough to get through life, someone passes away, and you're there to give the hug when maybe it's not a natural time for a dude to give another dude a hug, right? To just sit there and listen to somebody when they're having the tough times. Your why is the same thing. Because there are times all of us have had too much. You're wondering, like, man, is this my pain threshold? Is this it? Because I haven't reached it yet. Like, is this it? And if you can figure out what that why is, I don't know if in life it's too big, but even in the moments, you'll keep going.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it's painful, you know, when you get to those moments where there's massive adversity and you're having to reach down and figure out, like, is there another level of resiliency, right? Is there enough perseverance here? If you can establish that why before the hard time comes, I think you'll keep going. You know, it's easy on the good days to keep going. You know, when the students are in good moods, when the weather's nice on the good run, when your body's feeling good.
Oh, yeah.
And you're thinking, like, man.
Yeah, you're right.
You're at mile 50 and you're like, man, was it what I ate? Was it just I had good sleep?
Yeah.
Right? It's those tough times. And maybe that's our job, to try to help people figure out their why. You for your students, me for my realtors and people that want to change their life financially. It's important. But I didn't always know my why in the beginning.
No.
How do we find it? How do you find that? Like when you're searching it out for one of your A races.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I think it's, you know, it's like, for me, people. Like, I mean, people is a real important aspect to it. So, I mean, it's like I feel like if I'm doing it for myself, I'm not as driven as if I'm doing it for somebody else. Or I'm doing it for, like, a cause, something that compels me. So, I mean, like, it's got to be for something more than yourself. I feel like to reach that highest pinnacle, I mean, you could be driven to do things for, you know, your own motivations but to like reach that highest level, it's when you're reaching to, you know, help someone else. We did this, so we were not successful in getting the fastest known time on the Appalachian Trail. We came in like 8th fastest.
Damn
time.
it, Harvey!
I know we would not make it, but you know, it was not for the part of not trying. I mean, I broke my body so many times on that trail, and it seemed that it was like insurmountable weight on my shoulders. Like, I mean, I literally one time felt like if I was to make a metaphor, said it was like the equivalent of having a sumo wrestler laying on top of you and trying to move. Like, that's how beat up I was. But somehow, just focusing on the next furthest distance we could see, the next mile, my dad, like, you know, being an incredibly positive support team. And, you know, we managed to make it through those extremely difficult points to get back on track. But, you know, ultimately we finished the 8th fastest time, with that endeavor.
The intro to Like Harvey, Like Son. There's a moment in there where your dad says, "Oh, we're going to finish the race."